Money is on the line. Always say hello with Quo. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Thursdays just got a whole lot better. At Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, it's prime rib night, and it's everything you've been craving. We're talking slow-roasted, perfectly seasoned USDA prime rib, carved just the way you like it, served with a jumbo loaded baked potato and all the classic fixins. Simple, legendary, done right. This isn't just dinner, it's a weekly tradition. And hey, you asked, the head ball coach delivered. Join us every Thursday for premium prime rib night at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Come hungry, leave legendary.
He's got the 1966 Heisman Trophy, the 1996 National Championship Trophy, and 7 SEC trophies. Now he's got a new trophy, a can of beer. Steve Spurrier was the head ball coach. Now you can call him the head beer coach. Head Beer Coach 1966 Lager is available in 16-ounce cans at Gator games and stores all across Gainesville. You can also get it in the can or on draft at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Refreshing in all kinds of weather, Head Beer Coach 1966 Lager, a legend in a can.
From the Spurrier's Gridiron Grill studio, WRUF Gainesville, W251CG Gainesville, WRUF FM HD2, and on the WRUF radio app. This program is paid for by Weeby Marketing. The godfather of Gator Sports Talk Radio has returned.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
It's Sports Scene with Steve Russell. Time to eat some lunch and talk some Gator sports.
Sports Scene with Steve Russell is fueled by Southeast Car Agency and brought to you in part by Gator Trim Light, Campus USA Credit Union, Doreen Weeby Realtor, Fairlife Milk, Domino's Pizza, International Diamond Center, Meldon Law, Miapa Latin Cafe, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, Quality Plumbing, Sensei Asian Bistro, Ruse Ogra State Farm, Titan MRI and Imaging, the UF Bookstore, Gala Bank, B&D Electric, and the Head Beer Coach 1966 Lager.
Now, here's Steve Russell, right here on WRUF.
It is time to eat some lunch and talk some sports. Welcome into a Friday edition of Sports Scene today, coming to you live from a place that I've not been before, Norman, Oklahoma. I'm literally just about a block and a half away from the OU campus as Gator baseball gets set to play Oklahoma in a 3-game series beginning tonight. Jeff Cardozo and I will have the call of the game. Big series for both teams, as both teams have the same record in a very crowded SEC. Today, I have the privilege of having Graham Hall alongside. He's in the studio. Many thanks to Graham for hosting yesterday while we were on the airplane getting here. And we will talk with him as the day goes along, as well as you. Tyler is our producer today, and we hope that we'll have a good program here for you for the next couple of hours. I am not there, but Graham is in the Gator Trim Light studio. Remember, pool enclosures and businesses, decks and landscape lighting that got you covered, full color systems, and you can program it right from your phone. Find out more at GatorTrimLight.com. And we are also fueled by Southeast Car Agency in Gainesville, 310 Northeast 39th Avenue. Folks, they're the best. They have the best variety, the best selection of the best in late model, low mileage vehicles. Been doing it for nearly 50 years. When you go see them in person, make sure and tell them Sports Scene sent you. All right. Today, it's kind of an open day. We're going to have 3 guests today, if everything goes right. We're going to have the play-by-play voice of Oklahoma, Toby Rowland, to talk about Oklahoma baseball. Also, Sean Devaney from Heavy.com. We'll talk about the NBA playoffs. And Bob Nightingale, who covers MLB from USA Today Sports, will talk, where baseball is the first 30 whatever games it is in the year. Graham, I got to ask you, I know you're a basketball guy. Who are your basketball and baseball teams?
I'm a Cleveland Cavaliers fan, which is, I think, a little bit of an odd one. I always get the accusations, unfounded, that I hopped on the LeBron James bandwagon, which I get it. But I was telling this story earlier today when I was hosting Shane's show. I burnt my LeBron James jersey when he left the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2011. I was heartbroken. And looking back on it, it feels very foolish because I could have saved that. Could have been a little bit retro when he came back to Cleveland. We'll see if maybe what he's going to do after this offseason. He didn't sign another contract with the Lakers this past offseason. He's playing on the player option. So no one knows what is going to happen with LeBron's future. Is he going to go back to Los Angeles? Is he going to maybe return to Cleveland for that retirement tour, kind of similar to what Kobe Bryant did? Or is he going to go elsewhere? Or is he going to call it quits? So I'm a Cleveland Cavaliers fan. We got a big game tonight against the Toronto Raptors, trying to win the series here. And I secretly am hoping the Magic's a distant number 2 team. I hope the Magic wrap it up tonight as well, because then I can go to Game 3 in Orlando between the Cavaliers and the Magic, which has happened pretty often. So MLB, I'm not a massive Major League Baseball fan. My dad grew up right outside Detroit. So if I'm turning anything on, I'm rooting for the Detroit Tigers, but I'll be quite honest, that becomes more and more difficult as the years go on.
Speaking of that, by the way, let me make sure how to tell folks how they can get a hold of us. All our phone calls, 392-8255 on the Titan MRI Imaging phone line, 3 locations in Gainesville, 1 in Lake City to serve you better. Call them for the best MRI, TitanMRI.com. The email, srussell@wruf.com, courtesy of International Diamond Center, the official jeweler of the Florida Gators. They carry an assortment of designer engagement rings, wedding bands, watches, in short, really fine jewelry. If you have any YouTube questions, Tyler gets them to us, courtesy of Campus USA Credit Union, where Coach Spurrier does his banking, founded on the UF campus, serving our community for 90 years. Facebook Live questions from Ruse Ogra State Farm, your go-to agent in Gainesville and North Central Florida for car, home, casualty, and life insurance. And want to thank Quality Plumbing for sponsoring the first hour of the show today. Relying on the same company Gainesville's trusted since 1984, Quality Plumbing. Their name says it all. And all of our guests, courtesy of Meldon Law, won't back down, serving Gator Nation since 1971. And this has actually proven to be a really cool thing. If you want to text the show, the number 352-325-3777, brought to you by B&D Electric, professional, reliable electrical service you can trust. Schedule at bdelectric.com. Graham, I got to tell you, I'm sure you do the same thing when you go to a new place around the league or whatever. I kind of go exploring to get some exercise, and campus is literally a block or 2 away. So I went for a walk last night. I got back and I thought, oh, my Knicks are on. And I cautiously turned the television on. They were up 40 when I turned it on, and it turns out that was not their largest lead. And now, of course, everybody thinks the Knicks are going to win a world championship. I'm not one of them. But what were your thoughts on that game?
Well, it got away after the first quarter. They were up 44-15. I've been don't hate me for this, but I've been kind of a Knicks doubter this entire season. Kind of similar to the Rockets, where they've had leads coming into the second half, and they just kind of dissipated in a sense. And I just didn't think that they'd have enough to really get it done this, in this series. But they looked really good last night. Karl Anthony Towns has the ability to turn it on. He can be a double-double machine waiting to happen every single night. Obviously, the camaraderie between Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson and Michael Bridges, and then OG Anunoby is just fantastic. Impacts the game in ways that don't affect the box score. I thought it was just a kind of an outlier here in the playoffs so far, because we've seen so many competitive games. Games go down to the wire, and then you saw the Hawks win a game in the series where I think they outscored the Knicks 15-3 down the stretch. So I know that there's this mentality in athletics when you got a double-digit lead with 3 minutes to go. The best part about the NBA playoffs to me is that no lead is safe until the buzzer has sounded. You've seen that in this series when CJ McCollum nearly hit that three-pointer to win the game from more than half court. This was a series that could have gone either way in a couple of these games, but last night the Knicks get it done with a massive blowout, and now they await who they're going to play in the playoffs.
I want to throw this question out to folks who are listening, because I was having this conversation with somebody this morning at our team meal for breakfast. We all know what happened when Denzel Aberdeen left here, came back here, the crowd got on him and all of that. But I wonder, from a fan base, Graham, I wonder if fans should do that. Fans don't complain when they get a guy from another school, but yet you can't leave your school for a better opportunity. I want to discuss that a little further, but let's go to our Titan MRI Imaging phone line. That's where Woody is. We'll talk to him. Woody, hi.
Yeah, hey, Steve, real quick answer to the question you just asked. I think the issue mostly with Denzel wasn't the fact that he left for life-changing money, but that he went to Kentucky. I think if he'd have gone to Southern Cal or Michigan, nobody would have fussed about it and as much. And obviously he wouldn't have played on our home court. But gamesmanship by the rowdy reptiles, I don't think they abused him too bad, but I think most of the fans' angst was that he went to Kentucky. It's kind of like, one of our football players going to play for Georgia. Same idea.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. I mean, I kind of was hoping that it would be a little bit of a split reception for Denzel Aberdeen. I think the time to honor him was before the game when he went and hugged Todd Golden, got introduced before the game, before tip-off. That would have been the time, in my opinion, and I don't have a problem with anyone disagreeing, but that 5-10 second spurt would have been the time to show him a little appreciation because he was on the floor for the final minute of the national championship. The best part of the game was booing him every single time he had the ball in his hands. That's the 40 minutes that matter, and that's time to get out everything you just said, Woody. The angst of him going to Kentucky, him playing for a rival, him trying to beat a Florida team that was trying to make it and secure the second consecutive number one seed for the first time in Florida program history. Booing him when he had the ball in his hands, that is the awesome gamesmanship that you like. I think I would have liked to see him be celebrated a little bit before the game, but I understand why he wasn't.
I think they did kind of do that, maybe not what you're looking for, but I think he's going to get celebrated quite a bit this year coming back, welcomed back, and that'll show a lot of respect, and appreciation for what he did do, and I think since then people understood why he left better than our first impression, so I think everything's cool. We kind of understand what he did, why he did what he did. I just want to ask 2 quick questions, and I'll get. Go ahead.
If I could do, that's my point, Woody, because I hope fans understand that when these kids are leaving, they're leaving for more money, more opportunity, and it might be playing time, but most times it's more money. And I think we would all, in our jobs, we would all do that. If we had an opportunity to go somewhere else and make more money, we would do that. But anyway, go ahead. What was your other point?
Yeah, that's normal behavior. I just wanted to ask what you thought of the Gator softball game last night, the 7th inning, clutch players coming up, coming through at the end, and then I wanted to hear you say what there is in Oklahoma. You don't hear much about visiting that city. So now that you're there, first time impression, and what's been recommended to you, and I think I'll hang up.
Okay. Graham, you want to start with softball? I'll give you my 2 cents too.
Yeah, fantastic play by Jocelyn Erickson there in the 7th. The RBI double to make it 4-3 and then get a little insurance there, go up 5-3 in the 7th inning. Fantastic play. Anytime you can beat the Dogs, I know Florida fans are going to love it. It was very clutch for Florida. Have a chance to secure the series tonight. Just timely hitting. I was marveling recently at just the consistency of Tim Walton. He's up there in the Mouse Holloway category for me for impact in Gainesville, raising his family in the city, and then the consistency year over year is so impressive to me. Any chance you have, though, to go up to Athens and disappoint the Dogs is going to be well received, and to do it in clutch fashion, just a really impressive performance last night. All
5 of Florida runs came with 2 outs. That's clutch when you can do that. And you're right. I mean, you can beat a rival like Georgia. It's a good thing. Let's get to Byron. Byron, hello.
Hey, Steve, happy Friday, man. I think why I love you show so much. I love Gator calls, man. Woody is one of them, too, man. Yeah, shout out to Gator softball, man. We were all trying to watch it last night. But, Steve, I didn't even know you were on. Happy Friday to you. I thought you were in Oklahoma. Where you at? I was calling to get with Graham, but now you're on there. I'm glad, because the Knicks was what I was calling about, man. Steve, you know I've been pulling for him. And I think, Steve, I want to get your opinion and Graham's, but I think the bench, I couldn't think of Clarkson, but the other guard hadn't been playing as well. I get these names mixed up in these 60s, Steve. But, I like the big guy. Mitchell, he looked a little, but I like the big guys, Anunoby. But do you think, Steve, the difference between Brown and maybe last year, and I don't know if they're going to keep him, but he's using the bench and more players. But what happened in the last 3 games that made the Knicks change up? And I'm going to hit the Magic next, but go ahead, guys.
Well, I mean, they're shooting better, obviously. That's number one. And number two, they seem to be playing a little better, just from a chemistry standpoint. It was embarrassing for the Hawks last night. I mean, you cannot play like that in front of your home crowd. That was just awful. But of course, now everybody thinks the Knicks are going to win the championship, and they might. It's one game and one series. But since the Hawks spanked them in the Garden, that was kind of a wake-up call. They played a lot better since then. So we'll see.
And Steve, I'll just, again, shout out to the football coaching team. One thing I like, Steve, I'll just say about the strength, I think the toughness, he can outdo something, with those leg stretches and the guards. That coach is something else. I like the military thing. Man, I'm happy and I'm excited. JD, I'm with you, brother. Go Gators.
All right, Byron, thank you. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Much more to come. Graham and I coming to you on a Friday edition of Sports Scene. As you listen, coming to you live where Graham is in the Gator Trim Light Studio and fueled by Southeast Car Agency on WRUF.
Hey, folks, it's Steve Russell for my friends at Southeast Car Agency in Gainesville, 310 Northeast 39th Avenue. They've been in business for over 45 years. That in itself says a whole lot. Take a look around you when you drive. Take a look at the car in front of you, alongside of you. There's a really good chance it'll have a Southeast Car Agency tag, just like my vehicle does, and many vehicles before that have as well. When you go see them in person, make sure and tell them Sports Scene sent you to the good people at Southeast Car Agency, 310 Northeast 39th Avenue, Gainesville.
Everyone knows Gator Trim Light is the go-to for patented permanent holiday lighting. But did you know they do so much more? From pool enclosures and businesses to decks and landscape lighting, they've got you covered. Full color systems, fully programmable, right from your smartphone. Invisible by day, stunning by night. Show off your orange and blue home or landscape with GatorTrimLight.com. That's GatorTrimLight.com. GatorTrimLight.com.
P.F. Chang's Gainesville is serving up incredible lunch specials starting at just $11.99. So if you're in the mood for Asian fusion cuisine, stop in for lunch today. And don't miss happy hour, Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. with $5.99 beers, $6.99 wines, and $8.99 cocktails. Make your next lunch or afternoon unwind unforgettable at P.F. Chang's Gainesville, your destination for lunch and happy hour.
It's lunchtime and nobody does lunch like Pomodoro Cafe. From Italian dishes to subs and salads, and favorites like their pressed ciabatta pesto chicken with fries, grilled chicken, assorted roast peppers, mushrooms, mozzarella, and pesto aioli.
This is Steve Russell sharing with you one of my favorite lunch spots, Pomodoro Cafe, located in the Spring Hill Publix complex on 39th Avenue near I-75. Enjoy Pomodoro Cafe today.
And don't forget, they cater online at pomodorocafe.com.
Hey, have you ever talked to Ruse Agra over at State Farm?
Oh yeah, Ruse is awesome. Helped me get a ton of coverage for way less than I expected, and he serves all of North Florida. Super friendly too, actually takes time to explain everything.
Really? I thought State Farm would be pricey.
No, surprisingly great rates. You get that neighborly service you don't find everywhere. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I might give Ruse at State Farm a call.
You should. Call 352-240-1779 for a free quote. You'll be glad you did.
Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
Hey, Gator baseball fans, here's a win you can taste. When the Florida Gators take home a victory at Condren Family Ballpark, you win too at Miapa Latin Cafe. The day after every home win, swing by and score a free Cuban coffee, hot or iced, your choice. Just bring your game ticket to any Miapa location and claim your reward within 24 hours of the win. It's that simple. Gators win, you win. Only at Miapa Latin Cafe, serving Gator fans for over 20 years. Play ball!
In a world of big banks, there's only one truly local choice in Gainesville, Gala Bank. Locally owned and operated, Gala Bank is built by people who live here, work here, and care about this community. With over 350 years of combined banking experience, you'll always get trusted guidance and personal service you can count on. And with convenient 7 to 7 hours, Monday through Saturday, banking works around your schedule, not the other way around. Local bank, local people. Gala Bank. Member FDIC.
Connecting with WRUF at Sports Scene just got easier. Call, email, watch on YouTube or Facebook Live. And now text us on the B&D Electric text line at 352-325-3777. That's 352-325-3777. Gator baseball fans, don't miss On Deck with Steve Russell and Jeff Cardozo live every Monday at 1 on WRUF. Get baseball and softball breakdowns, player analysis, and SEC previews. Listen live or anytime on the WRUF app, YouTube, or Facebook. On Deck, it's a hit.
The Tailgate with Jeff Cardozo and Zach Almoverdi. Weekdays at 4, right here on WRUF.
Welcome back to Sports Scene. Steve Russell in Norman, Oklahoma, and Graham Hall in the studio. Graham, Trevor on Facebook. How about them Knicks? Reminded me of the Gators' beatdown of Tennessee last year at the O-Dome. Think they have a better shot against the Celtics or Sixers in the next round? I'll throw that one to you, Graham. What do you think?
I think anyone would have a better shot against the 76ers. I can't really figure out what's going wrong with the Celtics. I think it's shot selection. I think they're going to change up some things in Game 7 here. I have a hard time seeing them losing a Game 7 at home to the 76ers. But credit the way Philly has played recently. Paul George looks renewed after taking, I guess I shouldn't say taking, but being forced to be away for 25 games due to the illegal substance or impermissible substance, I guess I should say, that caused him to miss the 25 games. Tyrese Maxey was fantastic last night. Played pretty much every single minute. I think he played 40-plus minutes, and he didn't have one turnover. Scored 30-plus points with no turnovers. And then Joel Embiid, can go for a triple-double any single night. He was effective, even though he, I think, went 6 for 18 from the field. That's not going to happen every single game. So if Joel comes out in Game 7 and has a more efficient performance and Tyrese Maxey takes care of the ball and Paul George can give you 20-plus a night and 4 rebounds and 3 assists, that is a very, very tough team to beat. I like their bench. I like the depth of all these teams. But I don't think the Celtics are going to lose Game 7, and that won't be great for the Knicks. Because I do think if I'm the Knicks, I'm rooting for the 76ers to win because I would feel really, really good about making the Eastern Conference Finals if that happens.
I think I'm correct in this, Graham. I think the Knicks are 3-1 against the Celtics this year and 2-2 against the Sixers. The Sixers have quickness, and the Knicks don't really have quickness. I think they can match up with the Celtics a little bit better from that standpoint. The Celtics aren't shooting the three either, and that's hurt them a little bit. If they start shooting the three, they should beat the Sixers, but I'm really intrigued to see what happens in that series. Got an International Diamond Center email from Daryl. Look forward to the broadcast this weekend. If you had a chance to check out the ballpark, hope the broadcast booth is comfortable for you and Jeff. Weather looks a little chilly. Yeah, it's going to be in the 50s tonight, so we had to bring a little extra here. It's a smaller ballpark in terms of fans and crowd, but it's a nice field. And again, it's someplace different that we haven't had a chance to see before, and that is, certainly a good thing. And then BB email. Maybe you know the answer to this too, Graham. How do Oklahoma sports facilities compare to ours? I must tell you, this is my first time here. Maybe you've been here before, Graham. I've not seen the basketball facility yet. I'm hoping when I get done here, because we're so close, going to go over and try to see as much as I can of their facilities. So I can't really answer that, BB, yet, because I haven't had a chance. Have you had a chance to visit here at all?
I have not. I've been waiting for a chance to go there. Like you, it's one of the few SEC cities that I haven't had a chance to go to. And that's because of Florida football has never played a regular season matchup in Oklahoma. That's going to change here in the near future, and I'm having a chance, hopefully, to go out there and see it. But I've heard nothing but great things. One of my good friends who works for 247 Sports, Tom Green, covers the Sooners. He's a Gator grad, grew up in Florida, and has done nothing but rave about being out there in Norman. I was going to say this, that the most appealing thing about being at the University of Oklahoma, or Oklahoma University, whatever you want to call it, if I'm an Oklahoma fan, you're 25 minutes down the road from Oklahoma City. So you can catch a Saturday football game or a Friday baseball game and then be able to go watch the Oklahoma City Thunder, the reigning national NBA champions, in action less than 30 minutes away. I mean, as someone who has to drive to Orlando nearly an hour and 45 minutes away to see the Magic play, that sounds a lot more appealing. I mean, we're often driving 25 minutes across town. So it sounds like a great locale, the proximity to a major city. Got to get out there in the near future. You're going to have to give me your feedback on what you think.
Yeah, Graham, it is. We flew into OKC, actually, and we drove here to Norman. And as you can imagine, there's all kinds of billboards for the Thunder. And it is pretty cool. The drive isn't bad. It's pretty short. And I'm sure if you're an Oklahoma fan, as you said, go right down the road here, go see OKC. It's pretty cool. He also asked about beach volleyball and why Florida doesn't participate in beach volleyball when teams like FSU and Stetson do. I don't know the answer to that. I mean, I don't know that Florida's ever really delved into that. Have you?
Yeah, that was actually when Scott Strickland got here. One of the first conversation topics that he discussed was potentially adding another sport at Florida. And the main one that he threw out was beach volleyball, which was pretty fascinating to me because we're right here in North Central Florida, an hour from any beach. But that's the one that apparently made the most sense for them to add. Now, unfortunately, in this era of revenue sharing and the football arms race and everything going to athletes, that becomes a lot less likely. If anything, you're seeing the opposite, unfortunately. You're seeing programs start to cut Division I sports. Last week, Arkansas became the first SEC school to cut sports. They cut men's and women's tennis for next season. That's part of the arms race and everything going to football and you having the ability to pay players directly out of your own revenue as an athletic department. And football is the moneymaker. As much as we love the other sports, I love sports like lacrosse, men's and women's tennis, obviously golf, but those sports are absolutely at risk in this era of revenue sharing. So with that said, I just don't know if beach volleyball is on the horizon for Florida, but it absolutely was explored as the top option to add a sport at Florida. If that were to occur, they may have missed the boat, though.
I'm with you. And then he asked, now that Coach Stoops is retired from the UFL, are there any coaches, assistants, or players with Gator ties in the league? I haven't even looked at a roster, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. In what sport are we talking? I'm sorry.
In the United Football League. In the
United Football League. I'm sure there are some. Elijah Badger got into it with a little Gator-on-Gator violence a couple of days ago when he got hit on the sidelines in a bit of a cheap shot. I shouldn't even say a bit of a cheap shot. It was a cheap shot from former Florida safety Trey Dean. So I know those guys are competing right now in the UFL. No Gators were taken in the CFL draft that happened last week, but there are definitely some former Gators competing in the UFL. I'm not sure about coaches. There were certainly some previous ones a few years ago, but right now I'd have to go through the rosters and look at these teams and see how they're all set up. But I not that come to any off the top of my mind other than Elijah and Trey Dean, who noticeably made headlines for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, exactly, the wrong reason. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We're going to talk a little MLB. My New York Mets are historically bad. Some other teams are surprisingly good. Bob Nightingale from USA Today covers MLB. He'll be our guest next as we bring you the sports scene today live from Norman, Oklahoma, and from our studio in Gainesville as well on WRUF.
Every pitch of Gator baseball, all season long, right here on WRUF, your home for Gator sports.
It's never fun being injured. And with summer on the way, the last thing you want is lingering pain holding you back. Good news. You don't have to deal with long waits or high costs at Titan MRI and Imaging. At Titan MRI and Imaging, you're not just another patient. You're treated with care in a comfortable, personal setting. With 2 locations in Gainesville and 1 in Lake City. Being pain-free is a short drive away. And they accept insurance. So don't sit out this summer. Get the scan you need and get back to enjoying it. Visit TitanMRI.com to learn more.
The jewelry store with the most likes, the most positive reviews, the most raving fans is International Diamond Center.
IDC is definitely a place that I will come to as long as I live here. This will be my go-to place always.
Literally the best jewelry store in town. You'll make friends for life coming in here. I felt like family from the beginning. The value was extraordinary.
I've got a beautiful diamond on my finger and I'm very proud of it.
International Diamond Center.
I'm very happy to show it off.
At Celebration Point and online at shopidc.com.
Every great team is built on a solid game plan, sharp execution, and total trust in the crew beside you. At Quality Plumbing, we bring that same championship mindset to every job we do. For over 40 years, we've been the starting lineup for homes and businesses across North Central Florida, delivering reliable service, expert craftsmanship, and big wins for our customers. Call us today or visit qualityplumbing.com. We're your first string team. License number CFC 043073.
By now you've heard about the Florida Legends Experience in Gila, featuring Gator Heisman greats Tim Tebow, Danny Werfel, and Steve Spurrier all in one place at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Imagine catching a pass or taking a handoff from a Heisman winner, all while supporting Isaiah 117 to help provide safe, loving homes for children in need. Then enjoy an unforgettable evening at the Gala, filled with great food and lasting memories. Don't miss this historic event. Find out how you and your business can get involved at fllegends.com. That's fllegends.com.
Thursdays just got a whole lot better. At Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, it's prime rib night, and it's everything you've been craving. We're talking slow roasted, perfectly seasoned USDA prime rib, carved just the way you like it, served with a jumbo loaded baked potato and all the classic fixins. Simple, legendary, done right. This isn't just dinner, it's a weekly tradition. And hey, you asked, the head ball coach delivered. Join us every Thursday for premium prime rib night at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Come hungry, leave legendary.
There are plenty of realtors in town, but few work as hard, respond as quickly, or care as deeply as Doreen Wiebe of Caldwell Banker MM Parish. Community-driven and client-focused, Doreen will work with you to ensure your satisfaction. Whether you're buying or selling, she brings persistence, preparation, and heart to every deal. With Doreen, you're not just another transaction. You're a priority. Call 352-562-1411. That's 352-562-1411.
It's game day. Lights on, fans ready, everything running like it should. Now imagine your home performing at that same level. No flickering lights, no tripping breakers, no last-minute surprises. With B&D Electric, your home's electrical system is always game day ready. From repairs and lighting to panel upgrades and troubleshooting, they deliver reliable service you can count on every time. Don't sit on the sidelines. Schedule your service today at www.bdelectric.com. That's bdelectric.com.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party.
Meta World Peace, what's up, man?
Nah, that's not my name anymore, thanks to Hard Rock Bet.
We're doing this again, are we?
Now I go by Meta over rebounds, under assists, Meta the first basket, free throw, piece.
Huh, so you really can same game parlay practically anything now on Hard Rock Bet.
It's the only place I play these days.
Download the Hard Rock Bet app and start playing today. Hard Rock Bet, roll with us.
Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida, must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
If it happens in Gator Nation, you hear it on WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
Welcome back to Sports Scene, coming to you today, both from Gainesville and from Norman, Oklahoma, where Gator baseball is getting set to play. Tonight, we'll have the game for you live. Major League Baseball, of course, underway. I always have Bob Nightingale on to talk Major League Baseball from USA Today. Bob, always a pleasure to have you back. I got to start with my lowly, bad, terrible Mets. The Phillies fire a manager. The Red Sox fire a manager, and yet the Mets do not fire their manager. at this point in the season, the way that they're playing? Is that a surprise to you?
Yeah, a little bit of surprise. But I also think it's a front office and ownership saying, you know what, it's on us. No one's going to change anything here because the team is so bad. Poorly constructed. Guys are underperforming, injuries. But yeah, I think it's just they have so much respect for Carlos Mendoza. Maybe they change after this upcoming road trip, 3-city, 9-game trip they got coming up out west. They could do something, but I think it's just admission, like, you know what, nothing's going to change this, and they may be mean to themselves too. Maybe too late to make a difference. Where I think in Philadelphia and in Boston, they both think they're still playoff teams.
Let me ask about the Florida teams. The Marlins are right around 500, and the Rays are over 500. Is that where you thought they would be? Any of those teams a surprise at all?
I thought the Marlins might be around 500 just because of what they did last year, and they're coming on. They're moving closer and closer. Once they started adding to that payroll, particularly with the Phillies and Mets being down as they are, they got a chance to do something special here in the next year. So I still don't think they can contend this year, but I think they'll be, around 500. In the Rays, I thought they're a year away too. I thought this was kind of a building year. They made moves to kind of help them in the future. So they may be arriving a little early. I still think same thing. I think they're 1 year away, but they're playing a whole lot better than I thought they would at this juncture.
The team nationally, Bob, that was good last year. I don't know what the expectation was this year. San Diego. And yet the Padres are, I think, 7 or 8 games over 500 after 30 games. Did you think they would be where they are now?
No, I thought they'd be around a 500 team. I just, with the starting rotation being as weak it was, they didn't spend any money in the off season. They didn't have any money to spend. Took a gamble, a lot of starters. So I thought they'd be around a 500 level. And they're pitching a whole lot better than anybody thought. Getting some nice production from those guys and kind of piecemealing it together. And their offense still hasn't taken off. I mean, Machado is still struggling. Tatis still has not hit a home run yet. I think Cronenworth's in about 150. So, kudos to them to hang around through it. I wonder how long it's going to last, but maybe with the new ownership coming in, they got some money to spend and maybe, go get some more starters. And, maybe Lucas Giolito, steps in and is able to replace, Nick Pivetta for a few months until he comes back.
Bob Nightingale, our guest, USA Today, talking Major League Baseball, about 30 games into the season. Okay, Bob, beginning of the year, tell me if you'd agree with this. At least a lot of people thought teams like the Astros, the Red Sox, the Phillies, the Blue Jays, the Mets would all be pretty good, and all of them are pretty bad at this point. Which or any of those teams do you think bounces back to make the playoffs?
I think the Blue Jays bounce back. I think they're just hit by a bunch of injuries, some bad luck. I think the injuries really derailed them. I fully expect them to bounce back and be in the playoffs. I don't know if they'll win the division again, especially with the way the Yankees are playing. But I fully expect them to bounce back and be another 90-win team. And I don't give up on the Phillies. I still think the Phillies have too much talent, and their pitching's too good to be playing this poorly. So I expect them to at least make a run for the playoffs. I don't think they're going to catch Atlanta, but I do think they can still get one of the wild card spots. But yeah, those two, and the others. I think all the talk about the Mets firing their manager. I think Houston, they could do the same thing. I don't think that team can, even though the AL West is down, I still don't think Houston can hang around there with Texas and Seattle.
Two last teams to talk about. The A's, nobody seems to know who they are, who their players are. They got a really good young core of hitters. They're over 500 at this juncture. Do you think that sticks?
I think they could be around a 500 team, which is, another, by the third straight year, maybe fourth straight year that they've improved. So I do, and I think they're going to be a big-time player in free agency this winter with pitching. Their pitching is still, thin. So that's why I think it's eventually going to catch up to them, and they won't be able to hang around. But I think in this winter, if they get a free agent starter or two, then I think they can make the playoffs next year and be a real a powerful team. When they move to Las Vegas a year from now, at least for the 2028 season. Because I think they can sell pitchers on saying you only have to be in our minor league ballpark, one more year. They're going to the beautiful place on the Strip in Vegas, no state taxes in Nevada. So I think they'll have real selling points this winter.
Two last things. The Braves are back in their traditional spot after having a down year last year. I think they're legit this year. Do you?
No, they're definitely legit. I didn't see they got all those injuries they had. They lost, 3 starting pitchers before the season even started. And Strider being the big one, and then Sean Murphy, the catcher, is out. They lose a shortstop in Kim. On and on. I said, then they had the drug suspension with Jerickson Profar. So I thought they would. I thought this would be another down year. And tell you what, they're playing right now. They're right there with the Dodgers as far as the best team in baseball.
Last thing, I'm sure you talk to players, managers, in what you do. The new system that's in baseball now, where you can challenge balls and strike calls, really seems to be a hit. I think it's a hit with fans. I think players, for the most part, like it. From who you talk to in the game, am I wrong in saying that? Has this been a good thing for the game?
Yeah, it has, and you're absolutely right, Steve. I mean, the fans have really enjoyed it. Watching it on the big screen and seeing how close it is. I think the fear among some players is that next 5-6 years or so, we're going to have a full ABS system where robots doing the calls and strikes. So that the umpire will be back there, but he won't be making any calls. So taking away the big human element of the game. But so no, I think it's worked out well so far. I think the umpires are getting used to it. I think there'll be less challenges as the year goes on, or less successful challenges. And but yeah, it's a big hit. But I do think a full automatic strike zone is coming sometime in the next 5-6 years.
Make sure and follow Bob's work on USA Today. He does great work there covering Major League Baseball. Always a pleasure to have him here on Sports Scene. Bob, as the season goes on, we'll have you back. Thank you for your time.
Sure, my pleasure. Take care.
Thank you, Bob. Graham, this is for you. International Diamond Center email from Mark. Did I hear you correctly this morning when you said only 4 offensive linemen could squat more than Sumrall when he arrived at UF? How is that possible? I know Sumrall still looks like he can play linebacker, but still, he says.
Yeah, it's pretty baffling. And I do think if you're a Florida fan, it's a bit maddening, and it's some good justification because last year, everyone griped about the strength and conditioning program. We had a lot of praise for it through the spring, which is fairly common, especially for a lot of guys who arrive and really don't know what they could compare it to. You really only have positive impressions. But when the season arrived and the injuries picked up and Florida just did not seem as tough as their opponents and they faded in the fourth quarter, fans were, to their credit, the first ones to sit here and say the strength and conditioning program is not up to snuff. You have all these resources at the University of Florida, and now they're currently renovating the weight room, so I think that should kind of speak volumes to how Coach John Sumrall and Director of Football Performance Rusty Witt view the resources at Florida before they arrived. So this team needed to get mentally and physically tougher. And yeah, John Sumrall, he's in his 40s. He's not in bad shape whatsoever. Guy's got a ton of energy, but he did squat more than all but 4 Florida offensive linemen, which just frustrates you, absolutely. But I also think it speaks to a little bit of optimism that this thing is going to improve, that these guys are going to get tougher, that there is another level that they can take it not just the incoming players, but the returning talent and the freshmen arriving in a college facility for the first time, that they're going to get off on the right foot and have a much better chance of being more physical and therefore better in 2026. But yeah, it certainly was frustrating to see that play out last year, and it was a little bit eye-opening to hear John Summerall say that. He said it behind closed doors, and I was worried that we would just have to, attribute it to what we're hearing and sources, but then he thankfully said it publicly in a couple of interviews where he revealed that he was stronger than all but four from the lower body, at least.
I know Florida's getting a new weight room, new equipment, and they're going to make it over. Is this new equipment, is that designed to do different things? I mean, I don't know how much you know about it, because I know very little about it, Graham, but what's the big picture here? Is it to do the things he wants to do, to get the different machines in there to do what he wants to do? What's behind this?
Yeah, different machines, some new kind of cutting edge type squat and bench rack equipment. I do think that was probably one of the biggest complaints when they arrived, and there wasn't enough time to do it when they all got settled. It was something they identified in January as this needed to happen sooner than later. So when spring camp ends and guys are done working out for pro day, and guys are still working out in Gainesville. Like I saw Jake Slaughter today, who got drafted by the Los Angeles Chargers. He's still working out in Gainesville right now before he heads over to the West Coast. Guys are still working out. So this was the soonest time that they possibly could do it. They had to make do with what they had during February and January. But it's going to be a lot of improvements, some new ways to measure body composition as well. It's going to be a 7-figure investment inside that facility. I think maybe one of the things that has me scratching my head a little bit about it is that facility only opened up, 4 years ago?
Right.
What kind of advancements have been made in the last 4 years from a strength training standpoint? That is something I'm still looking to get a little bit of clarity on, but I also think maybe if you're a Florida fan, you wonder why didn't we have a better weight room 4 years ago when this thing opened? If you're going to spend $86 million opening a standalone facility, you should spare no expense. And that especially comes to, like we talked about, your biggest moneymaker sport. You should be putting every single penny, dollar you can into making sure that the athletes that you're investing in have all the resources at their disposal, from the food and the dietary options, but especially when it comes to being in the weight room, because you have to live in the weight room if you want to win in this league.
All right, we're going to take a break, come back. Don't forget this first hour brought to you in part by Quality Plumbing. Their name says it all. And remember, all of our guests come to you courtesy of Meldon Law, serving Gator Nation since 1971. In hour two, by the way, I'm going to bring this up. If you are a Gator baseball fan, I've had the privilege of now, because of going here, of going to every SEC venue in baseball except Texas. I've seen how it's marketed. I see what fans are doing. I'm going to talk about the fan experience at the ballpark, and I'm going to get into that and hopefully hear some feedback from you. But right now, we'll take a break, come back with more Sports Scene. You're listening on WRUF.
When the late, great Charlie Daniels would need a place for jewelry he could trust, he turned to International Gold, Diamond, and Watch Exchange.
Hi, I'm Charlie Daniels, and I live in Tennessee, but when I get ready to do something serious about jewelry or a gift for my wife or somebody, I always get in touch with the folks at International Gold and Diamond Exchange here in Gainesville. There's a lot of reasons for that. One reason is they sell nothing but the best.
Find out what Charlie was talking about for yourself at International Gold, Diamond, and Watch Exchange at 3440 West University Avenue and online at igdwex.com.
Gator Nation, did you know the UF bookstore, located right inside the University of Florida's Rights Union, is more than just textbooks? That's right. Gear up with officially licensed Gator merchandise from top brands like Nike, Peter Lamar, Lululemon, Columbia, Tommy Bahama, Apple, and more. From game day to every day, we've got the styles Gators love. Stop by the Florida bookstore at Rights Union. The Florida bookstore, where Gators shop.
Go Gators!
After you work out, you can feel worn out. Reach for core power and rise to a whole new level of recovery. Protein to build muscle. Electrolytes to help hydrate. The nutrition you need to power on. Champion your recovery with Core Power.
We all know the most exciting thing that can happen during a baseball game is a grand slam. Leave it to Davis Gainesville Chevrolet GMC and the Florida Gators to make it even more exciting. This year, at any SEC home game here in Gainesville, if the baseball or softball team hits a grand slam in the 4th inning, someone will win a 2-year lease on a brand new 2026 Chevy Trax. It's happened before. Will you be the next to win? Davis Gainesville Chevrolet and the Florida Gators. Now that's a hit.
Are you ready to raise your game when it comes to your Gators gear? Head over to Alma Mater in Gainesville. You'll find just what you need to rep your team in style. From one-of-a-kind Gator tees and hats to NIL gear, they've got the perfect Gator swag for every fan in all kinds of weather. Whether it's game day or any day, you'll be winning with officially licensed apparel found nowhere else. Locally owned, locally produced. Alma Mater, in-store at the corner of 34th and University or online at almamaterdesign.com.
Concrete is tough, long-lasting, durable, and when it's done right, it's the foundation of everything that stands strong. At Silverback Concrete, we don't just pour concrete, we build trust one slab at a time. We're a family-led team of heavy concrete specialists who sweat every detail, from footers to elevated decks. We respect your budget, we build to last, and we care about the people on the job today and those who will walk these floors tomorrow. You stand on it, we stand by it. Silverback Concrete, we've got your back. Visit silverbackconcrete.co to get started.
For more than 50 years of quality service, Archer Electric Service Company has been Gainesville's choice for residential and commercial electrical work. Whether you need wiring, repairs, or backup generator installation, we treat every client like family with professional, clean, dependable service. Don't wait for the storm or the flicker to remind you. Visit ArcherElectricService.com today for a free consultation and see why we've been Gainesville and the surrounding area's most trusted electricians for decades.
Hey, it's Steve Russell. Join me and my baseball broadcast partner, Jeff Cardozo, every Monday at 1 p.m. for the On Deck Show.
Lawson sends it out to left center field. This ball's hit pretty well. It's traveling, and it's going to get out of here.
We'll talk Gator baseball, Gator softball.
Shoemaker's swing sends one high, deep right center field. At the wall, it's out of here.
And of course, Major League Baseball as well. We'll see you every Monday at 1 for the On Deck Show on WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and on the WRUF mobile app.
In the heart of Gator country, some things are built to last. Traditions, family, and real wood furniture. At Wood U Furniture, we believe furniture should be more than something you replace every few years. It should be something you pass down, built to last generations. Choose beautifully finished pieces or ready-to-finish furniture you can make your own. Wood U Furniture. Real wood, real quality, right here in our community. Come visit our new showroom on Main Street, just north of our previous location, or online at woodugainesville.com.
From the UF Weather Center, here is your WRUF weather update.
Hot and humid today, temperatures in the upper 80s, feels like temperatures in the low to mid 90s. There's a chance for a few passing evening showers, otherwise partly cloudy, humid and warm overnight, lows in the upper 60s. Tomorrow, a storm system arrives, giving us much needed rainfall. Pockets of heavy rain and strong thunderstorms will be possible, especially during the afternoon into the evening. From the WUFT Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Megan Borowski.
Gator baseball plays here. WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
Don't forget you want to text us a question. That's the B&D Electric text line, 352-325-3777. Facebook Live questions, courtesy of Ruse Oklahoma State Farm. YouTube questions, courtesy of Campus USA Credit Union. Facebook Live from Mike. Condren Family Ballpark's a great venue with great vibes, other than when you want chicken nuggets for $20. Okay, welcome back to Sports Scene here. Graham Hall, 247 Sports, is here as well. Next hour, you're going to hear from Oklahoma's play-by-play voice to talk about their baseball team. Bob Devaney from Heavy.com will also join us here to talk a little NBA. So that's coming up in hour number 2. Let me ask you this. When you go to a Gator baseball game, Graham, what are your thoughts in terms of crowd, how much they're into it, atmosphere at the ballpark? What do you think when you go there?
I think that the atmosphere is fantastic. I mean, the whole burn setup, everyone out in the outfield, the options, the food trucks. I know people are a little bit split on it. The stadium food prices are on the more expensive side. But if you go on a midweek game and you get a Diamond Deck ticket, you can get one for under $50, $60 a lot of the time on the resale market. And then you can end up eating as many hot dogs as you want, popcorn, cookies, get free soda. That could easily be a $20 to $30 value. It's hard to beat that when you do that. Now, those are obviously more expensive during the SEC series, but I do think that the Diamond Deck is just a fantastic addition. I see so many people rave about it. I see a lot of families there. Here's my biggest gripe with Florida baseball from a fan perspective.
Yep.
I would like to see more students attend games because the energy, I think, in the heckling and how they can have an impact on the game, where so much of it is mental, I just don't see this dedicated, large student fan base. There are certainly a lot of students that do go to games, and they're not the ones usually sitting behind home plate because those are expensive, or third base or first base line. But I don't see the energy at Florida baseball games from the student perspective that I see at basketball and certainly football games. And sometimes I don't know why that is, because it's a great time. The games are not overly long. You're going to be there for less than 3 hours. You have a chance, again, to impact the games. I just don't know why they don't go. Maybe it's the proximity to campus, because for those who don't know out there, who haven't had a chance to go to a Florida baseball game, McKeithen Stadium used to be right in the heart of campus, right near the dorms, where it was right by where the indoor practice facility for football is right now. Now the stadium's a little bit out of the way. It's closer to Southwest Rec Center, and maybe just that 5 extra minutes and the limited parking and the other options for traveling over there has led to less students than I think I would like, and I think certainly the Florida Athletic Department would like, because it's a great time, and I would like to see more students show up in the future.
Correct me if I'm wrong, do students get in free with an ID?
Yes, they do. They do.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you have to do it like basketball, where you have to sign up online, and then it's on your phone, and if you have to show up. If you don't show up, then you can lose your access to it. But they're not paying anything. Everyone who is not a student, especially the dedicated fans who've been there for 30, 40 years, we've seen a lot of them, would kill to be able to go for free to a baseball game, especially at a venue that is one of the best in all of college athletics. It's better than any AA, AAA baseball stadium out there. It is a luxury experience a lot of the time. And you can eat on campus, and you don't have to pay for food. You can drink beer in the parking lot if that's your thing. It's an excellent time, and there's no excuse because it is free for students. They just got to go online and sign up.
We'll talk more about this in the second hour. We have guests the first 2 segments, and then if you are a Gator baseball fan, I want you to chime in here on what you think the experience is. I see some things going to other ballparks. If they would ever ask me, I would recommend, and we'll talk about that in hour 2. Graham will join me for hour 2 from 24/7 Sports. Appreciate him being here. Thanks to Tyler for producing the show. Hour 2 is coming up. Stay with us here. The first hour brought to you by Quality Plumbing. We appreciate you listening. Come back and join us for hour 2 as you listen on WRUF.
Gator baseball is in full swing, and the road to Omaha runs through WRUF.
Want to get your brand noticed? At Radware, we help you stand out with custom corporate apparel, branded uniforms, and promotional swag that gets attention. From trade shows to team uniforms, we've got you covered. Radware even works with major names like the University of Florida. Boost your brand visibility today. Visit radware.com. That's radware.com, and let your brand shine.
If there's anybody that knows what teamwork and great leadership is all about, it's the head ball coach himself, Steve Spurrier. Sure, it applies to football and the team at Campus USA Credit Union.
Yeah, I think we got excellent leadership with Jerry Benton and his staff there, and certainly I'm proud to team up with those guys as we go from year to year.
Campus USA Credit Union can help with all your financial decisions. Join the team. Learn more at campuscu.com. Member NCUA.
Summer in Gainesville means sunshine, barbecues, and storm season right around the corner. Don't wait until disaster strikes to think about your roof. Whether it's your home or your business, Atlantic Roofing has you covered. From inspections to full replacements, their expert team handles both residential and commercial roofing, built to stand up to Florida's toughest weather. Get ahead of the storm. Protect what matters most. Visit AtlanticRoofingFL.com today for your free estimate. Atlantic Roofing. Roofing you can trust, rain or shine.
Domino's carryout deal means you can carry out one-topping pizzas for $7.99 each when you order online or by phone. Just in case there's any confusion, we've even set up a helpful website to confirm if today is a day you can carry out one-topping pizzas for $7.99 each. Just go to howaboutoday.com to find out if Domino's carryout deal is valid today. Spoiler alert, it is. Carryout only. Ask for this offer. Availability and charges may vary. Size availability varies by crust type. Excludes XL and specialty. Your local store may charge extra for some toppings and sauces.
Hi, I'm Kerry Meldon. At Meldon Law, we prepare every case as if it's going to trial. And part of that preparation involves real people from our community giving honest feedback. Join one of our jury research focus groups. You'll review real case scenarios, share your perspective, and enjoy dinner and dessert on us. We'll thank you and provide you $125 for your time. It's engaging, meaningful, and your voice truly matters. Visit meldonlaw.com to sign up today.
Gator fans, this one's for you. Introducing Castaway Sauce Company, the hot sauce made by Gators for Gators. Their signature ball kicker hot sauce is inspired by Steve Spurrier's famous kick that beat Auburn in '66. If you love hot sauce with real flavor, not just heat and vinegar, Castaway delivers. Available at select public supermarkets, Castaway Sauce Company is founded by a lifelong Gator and proud UF alum. From mild to wild, they've got a flavor for every Gator tailgate. Grab your Castaway hot sauce today and taste the tradition. Learn more at CastawaySauceCompany.com.
This summer, bring every game home. Baseball, soccer, golf, like never before. With a stunning new home theater system from Electronics World. Gainesville's preferred choice for home theater, surveillance, and smart home solutions. Delivering the best products, the best service, and the best price. Don't just watch the game, live it. At Electronics World. Gainesville's preferred choice for home theater, home surveillance, and smart home installation and service. Visit electronicsworld.net for more. That's electronicsworld.net.
Gainesville's best-kept secret is finally being revealed. Introducing Sensei Asian Bistro. Located in Celebration Point next to Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, Sensei delivers a one-of-a-kind Japanese-French fusion experience that's as refined as it is unforgettable. Indulge in signature dishes like our smoked New York strip, Chilean sea bass, matcha curry, or the crave-worthy chunggang chili chicken. Pair it all with handcrafted cocktails, fresh crudo oysters, or our premium A5 Wagyu tataki. Sensei Asian Bistro. Make your reservation today.
From the Spurrier's Gridiron Grill Studio, WRUF Gainesville, W251CG Gainesville, WRUF FM HD2, and on the WRUF radio app. This program is paid for by Weeby Marketing. The godfather of Gator Sports Talk Radio has returned.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
It's Sports Scene with Steve Russell. Time to eat some lunch and talk some Gator sports.
Sports Scene with Steve Russell is fueled by Southeast Car Agency and brought to you in part by Gator Trim Life, Campus USA Credit Union, Doreen Weeby Realtor, Fairlife Milk, Domino's Pizza, International Diamond Center, Meldon Law, Miapa Latin Cafe, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, Quality Plumbing, Sensei Asian Bistro, Ruse Ogra State Farm, Titan MRI and Imaging, the UF Bookstore, Gala Bank, BND Electric, and the Head Beer Coach 1966 Lager.
Now, here's Steve Russell, right here on WRUF.
Hey, how are you? Welcome into hour 2 of Sports Scene for this Friday. We are fueled by Southeast Car Agency in Gainesville, 310 Northeast 39th Avenue, the best in late model, low mileage vehicles. Been doing it for 50 years. Graham Hall, 247 Sports in studio. He's in our Gator Trim Light studio. Visit GatorTrimLight.com and find out all they can do to light up your home, your pool enclosure, your business, whatever it might be. Tyler is producing the show today as we come to you from Norman, Oklahoma, as the Gators are set to take on Oklahoma in baseball. You can hear all the games in this series all this weekend right here on WRUF. Graham and I are going to talk to our next guest, Sean Devaney, who joins us live now on our Titan MRI imaging phone line. We'll talk some NBA with us. Sean, always a pleasure. My Knicks last night, I went out for a walk here when I got to Norman to do baseball, and I came back and I thought, well, let me turn the Knick game on. They were up 40 at that point. Is this – I think the Knicks are playing better, and the Hawks were embarrassed, but your thoughts on the Knicks going forward?
Yeah, I mean, certainly this was not an exemplary effort from the Hawks, and that was part of it, that once they got down, they kind of punched out. But when you look at the last three games, the Knicks had sort of been really sticking it to the Hawks. They had found some things that had worked, and they're really hammering it, getting the ball to Karl Anthony Towns, really running a lot of offense through him, which they've been reluctant to do. There's no question this is Jalen Brunson's team. But when you've got a 7-footer with the mismatches that Karl Anthony Towns creates, and the ability to really take advantage of those mismatches, you got to get them the ball. And they just weren't doing enough at the beginning of the series. We saw that change, and I really think that was sort of the impetus for everything that happened in those last three games. Also nice to see Mikal Bridges finally get off the schneid. He was 8 for 10 shooting, for a guy who really was struggling throughout this series. So that's something hopefully that he can carry into the next series as well. So really couldn't have gone much better for the Knicks there in that Game 6.
Jokic was very frank in the press conference he had after the game, and he said the Nuggets are far away from being a championship team. I agree with that. How far away are they, do you think, especially with Jokic? I think he has 2 more years in his deal. Where do you see Denver from here?
Yeah, it's going to be tough because this is it's a little bit like the situation that Milwaukee was in with Giannis, except that this is a little bit earlier, and you have to wonder, you have to hope if you're the Nuggets that it doesn't devolve into the sort of situation that we see in Milwaukee, where they win a championship and then it becomes really hard to repeat it. They don't have the money because of the luxury taxes and all that stuff. They don't have the money to keep a lot of the guys together, so they're relying on guys coming up and trying to, guys like Peyton Watson and Christian Brown, and they're just not as good as the guys they had before. So it's really difficult, and this is part of what the luxury tax and the second apron and all that stuff. This is part of what the outcome has been, is that it's really hard, even for small market teams, to keep these groups together, and it's hard to maintain a championship caliber team. So that's what Denver's up against, and Jokic is actually right. If you're Denver at this point, I do think you have to look at the situation in Milwaukee and try to learn something from it. I don't think you're going to go out and try to trade Jokic, of course, but I think you do have to be pretty proactive, and that might mean looking to trade. What can you get for Jamal Murray, who's your number 2 player? But you've got to sort of stay in front and realize that this iteration of this team isn't working. You've got to find something different. So, I think David Adelman, the coach, is probably in some hot water, even though it's just 1 year. He was really outcoached in this series, so that's a possibility. But I think if you're Denver, you've really got to be bold at this point. You can't sit on your laurels and say, well, everything will be better next year, because it won't.
Graham, I'm going to have you chime in after I ask this question. I think it's ludicrous, but I've seen this. Is Houston better without a star player?
No, I don't think so. I think part of the issue and part of what we've seen is the Lakers kind of coming back down to earth a little bit, where you had Luke Kennard with those fantastic first 2 games with 50 points in the first 2 games, and then since then he's gone 14 in Game 3, 7 in Game 4, and 1 point in Game 5. He scored 1 point after scoring 50 in the first 2 games. He's 0 for 4 with 1 point in Game 5. So I think this is more of a situation where the Lakers have come back down to earth a little bit, and not so much that the Rockets are better off without Kevin Durant. I think they need his scoring. I think they need his playmaking. They really need a point guard. That's what they're really missing. When Fred VanVleet went down, they didn't replace him. I think that's something they're regretting at this point. But yeah, I think what's happening in that series is probably more a function of the Lakers than it is of the Rockets.
The 76ers have taken a lot of people by surprise these last couple of games. I thought that the Celtics had a pretty clear-cut path to making it to face either the winner of the Knicks and the Hawks, but these last two games give the 76ers some credit, in my opinion. They've done a really good job. What have you seen them do to kind of take the Celtics out of what they like to do offensively, and what kind of adjustments are you maybe looking for the Celtics to make in Game 7?
Yeah, the Celtics are really, look, they kicked away Game 2 of that series, and that was a really dangerous thing to do because you're leaving open the possibility that Joel Embiid could come back from the appendectomy he had in early April. And now that Embiid has been back, he kind of shook off the rust a little bit there in Game 4, and then in Game 5 and Game 6 he's come out and he's been fantastic. And really the Celtics do not have any answer for him. For so long, the reason the Celtics have been able to sort of dominate Embiid in the playoffs has been Al Horford. He's a great defender against Joel Embiid. He knows all his tricks, and he's really been effective against him. Well, Al Horford's not there, and they've got Neemias Queta, who's and Vucevic, neither of whom really are built with enough athleticism and enough smarts, frankly, to guard Embiid. And I think that's really been the problem for the Celtics is they've got to figure out a better way they blitzed him more. They tried to get the ball out of his hands more in Game 6. They've got to be more effective with that. They've got to find ways to prevent him from catching the ball at all, fronting him a little more, trying to find ways to break up the passing lanes. That's going to be key. And then, for the Celtics offense, it's really just, can they make shots? I mean, they shot 29% from the three-point line in their last two games, and they lost both of them. They can't do that. They've got to make their shots. So, better defense on Embiid, no question. And you got to make those threes. It's pretty simple. It's black and white with them. When they make them, they win. When they miss them, they lose.
And Steve will be absolutely bringing fantastic baseball coverage tonight, and an exciting night with softball as well. But it's going to be a fantastic night in the NBA. Also, 3 teams with chances to close out their series. The Cavaliers up 3-2 on the Raptors. The Magic looking to pull off the unpredictable 8-1 upset over the Pistons tonight as well. And then LeBron James and the Lakers looking to take care of the Rockets. What are you expecting out of those games tonight? Which teams do you think get it done and end the series?
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough on all those teams. I think Toronto right now is a little bit back on its heels. It's got some real injury issues with Quickly's already out with the hamstring, and now it looks like Brandon Ingram, he's got a heel problem himself, and so they're not going to be 100%. I think Cleveland can certainly take advantage of that. Orlando, there's going to be a little bit of pressure, no question, and we'll see if they're up to it. I thought that Game 5 was right there for them. They make 17 threes in that game. They get 45 points from Banchero, and they don't win. That's tough, and they might really look back at that game and regret it. But I think Orlando has been the more physical team. I think they've really been taking it to the Pistons. And if they can put that last game behind them, I think Orlando can finish it off. The Lakers, I've sort of lost confidence in them. We'll see. You have to hope that, look, Austin Reeves comes back for Game 5. He's 4 for 16 from the field. He's clearly kicking off some rust. He hasn't played in a month. You have to hope that, okay, you had your one bad game. The rust is off. You got to come out and you got to be, 10 for 17 in Game 6. And if he can do that, then I think the Lakers will win that one as well. So I don't know that we'll see any Game 7s coming out of these 3 games here.
Sean, I want to end with this in a minute. Your thoughts on the early proposals the NBA's made to combat tanking?
I like it, and I think one of the things that happens with a lot of these things is they come out and everybody complains about it and says, well, what about this and what about that? And it's true. I mean, you're going to have a situation where you have more teams in the lottery. There's still going to be some teams with some incentive to tank, but you're going to take away the incentive to tank year after year because you can't get the top 5 picks in consecutive years. and you're going to have no incentive to tank, for one of those top 3 picks because you'll get punished for, if you finish too low. So at this point, it's better than what we've got, and so everybody complains about it, but nobody actually has a real solution that's any better. So I do think this is an improvement. Anything you can do to improve that situation, sort of the way things got ugly down the stretch in some places, Utah and Indiana and Washington, if you can eliminate that, I'm all for it. And this at least is a step towards that.
Where can people see your work?
We're at heavy.com. We've got all the playoffs covered. We're working already on off season and trades and the mock draft and all that stuff. So that's all over at heavy.com.
All right. Appreciate you, Sean. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Steve.
Yep. Sean Devaney talking NBA from heavy.com. We'll take a break, come back. Florida, Oklahoma coming up in baseball. Their play-by-play voice will join us next to talk about the Sooners. You're listening to Sports Scene, coming to you live from the Gator Trim Life studio and fueled by Southeast Car Agency on WRUF.
Hey, it's Steve Russell for Southeast Car Agency in Gainesville, 310 Northeast 39th Avenue. Friends, they've been in business for 45-plus years, and the Cousins family has done just one thing, but, man, they've done it right. They give you the best alternative you have to purchasing a new vehicle, the best in late-model, low-mileage vehicles. I'm driving one right now, have been for a very long time. They've treated me right. They'll do the same thing for you. Go see them today, Southeast Car Agency in Gainesville.
Everyone knows Gator Trim Light is the go-to for patented permanent holiday lighting. But did you know they do so much more? From pool enclosures and businesses to decks and landscape lighting, they've got you covered. Full color systems, fully programmable, right from your smartphone. Invisible by day, stunning by night. Show off your orange and blue home or landscape with GatorTrimLight.com. That's GatorTrimLight.com. GatorTrimLight.com.
Hi, I'm Kerry Meldon. At Meldon Law, we prepare every case as if it's going to trial. And part of that preparation involves real people from our community giving honest feedback. Join one of our jury research focus groups. You'll review real case scenarios, share your perspective, and enjoy dinner and dessert on us. We'll thank you and provide you $125 for your time. It's engaging, meaningful, and your voice truly matters. Visit meldonlaw.com to sign up today.
After you work out, you can feel worn out. Reach for Core Power and rise to a whole new level of recovery. Protein to build muscle. Electrolytes to help hydrate. The nutrition you need to power on. Champion your recovery with Core Power.
Hey, have you ever talked to Ruse Agra over at State Farm?
Oh yeah, Ruse is awesome. Helped me get a ton of coverage for way less than I expected, and he serves all of North Florida. Super friendly too, actually takes time to explain everything.
Really? I thought State Farm would be pricey.
No, surprisingly great rates. You get that neighborly service you don't find everywhere. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I might give Ruse at State Farm a call.
You should. Call 352-240-1779 for a free quote. You'll be glad you did.
Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
If there's anybody that knows what teamwork and great leadership is all about, it's the head ball coach himself, Steve Spurrier. Sure, it applies to football and the team at Campus USA Credit Union.
Yeah, I think we got excellent leadership with Jerry Benton and his staff there, and certainly I'm proud to team up with those guys as we go from year to year.
Campus USA Credit Union can help with all your financial decisions. Join the team. Learn more at campuscu.com. Member NCUA.
When the late, great Charlie Daniels would need a place for jewelry he could trust, he turned to International Gold, Diamond, and Watch Exchange.
Hi, I'm Charlie Daniels, and I live in Tennessee, but when I get ready to do something serious about jewelry or a gift for my wife or somebody, I always get in touch with the folks at International Gold and Diamond Exchange here in Gainesville. There's a lot of reasons for that. One reason is they sell nothing but the best.
Find out what Charlie was talking about for yourself at International Gold, Diamond, and Watch Exchange at 3440 West University Avenue and online at igdwex.com.
Connecting with WRUF at Sports Scene just got easier. Call, email, watch on YouTube or Facebook Live. And now text us on the B&D Electric text line at 352-325-3777. That's 352-325-3777. Gator baseball fans, don't miss On Deck with Steve Russell and Jeff Cardoso live every Monday at 1 on WRUF. Get baseball and softball breakdowns, player analysis, and SEC previews. Listen live or anytime on the WRUF app, YouTube, or Facebook. On Deck, it's a hit.
You're listening to Sports Scene with Steve Russell right here on WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
Well, this sometimes happens in our world. We're looking to talk to Toby, and we're just getting his voicemail. So we're going to try to get back to him, and hopefully he gets back to us as we wind down Sports Scene here live in Norman, Oklahoma with Graham Hall with 247 Sports live in our studio. All right. While we wait for him, if you're a Gator baseball fan or even a Gator softball fan, I want you to compare what you think the atmospheres are like. Graham, you made the point about more students coming, and I don't disagree. And maybe I'm wrong in this, but I don't think anything special is done in terms of students at a baseball game. I know, for example, years ago, I went to Alabama, and they had renovated their ballpark, and I asked to get a tour. I wanted to see the improvements that they made, and they gave me one. And one of the things that they did in right field, there's a student section there where they can bring alcohol. Now, it's limited, right? But they can bring alcohol there, and that is packed. They've had great acceptance where students can go in there and, bring a beer or whatever they bring, and it adds to what the venue is. The other thing I don't understand is, Gordon has been going da, 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 for years and years and years. To his credit, you mean to tell me they can't put that on the PA? They can't do that to get the crowd into a game? And then the other thing I have a gripe with is the music. Look, I don't say you have to have the Rolling Stones and the Beatles all the time, but, I'll turn to Jeff and say, Jeff, do you know this song? And if he doesn't know it, I just think, for the crowd that goes to a baseball game, especially at the beginning, you got to keep them engaged, play good music. I don't know that they do that. Woody says there's no energy in the ballpark, period, except when somebody hits a homer. Location of the stadium has nothing to do with it. The lower bowl is bigger, populated with less passionate fans now. The venue was nice, but the game experience is pretty boring. The OEA could do a lot better, but empty seats don't cheer even in really nice arenas. The prices for tickets and food have prevented many from attending, and a bigger ballpark spreads out the crowds. You agree with any of that?
Yeah, I agree with a couple of those things. I think that you should play Rolling Stones and Beatles every time if that's going to be the demographic that is coming to games. You have to cater to the people who are showing up on a consistent basis. And no disrespect to the fans, that's not the students. It's usually the older demographic. And I think there's a bigger conversation to be had a little bit about maybe just where fan trends are right now with baseball. I do think that baseball in general has a kind of a problem appealing to the younger demographic. And that's a bigger conversation, and it makes ballparks like Florida's a symptom of it, and you have to think a little bit outside the box to make up for that. Now, the one about Alabama allowing students to bring in alcohol is a slippery slope to me, but I do think that there are some ideas that could be implemented to combat it. Here's one, and listen, if they take this idea, I want a little bit of credit, but I think if you could pay for an RTS bus to run from sorority row through fraternity row right to the games and make it kind of like brand it like a party bus type atmosphere, like as if you're going on a fraternity tailgate where you can have fraternity members bringing alcohol onto it, and then you eliminate that risk of the bus will run over an hour after the game ends. So you eliminate anyone driving home making poor decisions. I think that would appeal to it if you kind of sold it as in like here's an ease of transportation. You're getting into it for free. You can bring your buzz balls and Four Locos in there, whatever you want. And then we have transportation to you. You really eliminate the atmosphere concerns. You eliminate the safety concerns. And you make it more appealing to 19, 20, 21-year-old students, 21 and up if they're drinking, of course, to be able to come meet other guys, women, all in one place, take a bus to and from it. I think that would be a pretty novel idea, and it would get people in the stands.
Yeah, and look, I'm anxious to see what it is here, not ever, having ever been here. And I know, and when I say at Alabama, there's a limit to what you can bring in. It isn't like you can bring in, a brewery to the game. It's limited. And when I say this, I'm not knocking anybody in marketing. I'm not knocking anybody. I'm just saying from what I see at different venues around the league, there is more student involvement. There is more catering to the student than I think there is here. And I don't know, how many students, frankly, go to a softball game. But anyway, just food for thought with that, because I just don't know, how many are there. And I just think sometimes the atmosphere at the stadium, you have to really, when it's packed, Graham, and when they're into it, it's great. It's great. I wish that was more like that on a more consistent basis. So again, if anybody has a thought about that, they can let us know, 392-8255. And again, you can email the show, srussell@wruf.com. Richard says, UF baseball, very enjoyable, great stadium, real world pressures intrude. Academics here are very demanding. High Gainesville rent, high food cost, limited work opportunities offering only low wages, and $4 gasoline. Isn't that the same everywhere else, or am I crazy?
Yeah, I guess the point is it'd be easier to stomach buying $20 chicken nuggets if you're not filling up your tank with $4.25 gas and that you have a better job here in Gainesville. I guess I get that argument, but yeah, it is the same every single place. I think we're talking more students who are getting free tickets, who are able to walk to games on campus, who these games are at night. And let me just say, from an academic standpoint, if you're having to either choose between studying for an exam or going to a baseball game, you probably should have studied a little bit sooner. So kind of telling on yourselves a little bit, in my opinion. But I do think there are some improvements to be made. And you mentioned marketing folks. No problem with them whatsoever. They got a tough job to do, especially in this era of college athletics. But they're always looking for ways to innovate. And if there's a way that they can improve the experience, this isn't trying to be a athletic department chill or anything like that, but they certainly are looking for a way to do it. So any suggestions anyone has, call in on this station and do it. You never know who is listening. Send in a written complaint. They'll probably listen to you if it's actually a good idea. I've suggested multiple ideas to people in athletics, and they're not too proud to say, hey, that's a great idea. We may explore that. So don't be quiet. If you got an idea, call us here. You never know who's listening.
And the reason why I bring this up, Jeff and I both made the comment when A&M was here about how quiet it was. There just seemed to be no energy in the ballpark. Now, part of that is the way your team is playing. I mean, let's be honest, right? When your team is hitting homers, when your team is doing great, that tends to get fans excited. But sometimes it's up to fans to get the team excited, to help them. That's what a home crowd, I think, should do. And I hope we see a little more of that. The season is winding down, obviously, but these are very important games that Florida's going to have here with just one more home series, at least in the regular season. So, we'll see how it goes. We'll take a break. We'll come back. For those of you expecting the play-by-play voice of Oklahoma, so were we. We've not connected with him. Hopefully we'll get to him before the show is over. If not, we'd love to hear from you. Second hour of Sports Scene here, brought to you by our friends at Domino's Pizza. You're listening to Sports Scene on WRUF.
Your home for the Tampa Bay Rays is WRUF.
It's never fun being injured. And with summer on the way, the last thing you want is lingering pain holding you back. Good news. You don't have to deal with long waits or high costs at Titan MRI and Imaging. At Titan MRI and Imaging, you're not just another patient. You're treated with care in a comfortable, personal setting. With 2 locations in Gainesville and 1 in Lake City. Being pain-free is a short drive away. And they accept insurance. So don't sit out this summer. Get the scan you need and get back to enjoying it. Visit TitanMRI.com to learn more.
International Diamond Center's values are so compelling, it's not unusual to see people here that are not local.
Every day, we have people that drive an hour and a half, even 2 hours.
IDC owner Keith LeClaire.
People are willing to drive because they've heard it's not a typical jewelry store.
For example, did you know IDC has one of the largest selections of luxury pre-owned Rolexes in America?
You're going to want to come to IDC. It's worth the drive.
International Diamond Center in Celebration Point and online at shopidc.com.
Every great team is built on a solid game plan, sharp execution, and total trust in the crew beside you. At Quality Plumbing, we bring that same championship mindset to every job we do. For over 40 years, we've been the starting lineup for homes and businesses across North Central Florida, delivering reliable service, expert craftsmanship, and big wins for our customers. Call us today or visit qualityplumbing.com. We're your first string team. License number CFC 043073.
By now, you've heard about the Florida Legends experience in Gila, featuring Gator Heisman greats Tim Tebow, Danny Werfel, and Steve Spurrier all in one place at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Imagine catching a pass or taking a handoff from a Heisman winner, all while supporting Isaiah 117 to help provide safe, loving homes for children in need. Then enjoy an unforgettable evening at the Gala, filled with great food and lasting memories. Don't miss this historic event. Find out how you and your business can get involved at FLLegends.com. That's FLLegends.com.
Summer in Gainesville means sunshine, barbecues, and storm season right around the corner. Don't wait until disaster strikes to think about your roof. Whether it's your home or your business, Atlantic Roofing has you covered. From inspections to full replacements, their expert team handles both residential and commercial roofing, built to stand up to Florida's toughest weather. Get ahead of the storm. Protect what matters most. Visit AtlanticRoofingFL.com today for your free estimate. Atlantic Roofing. Roofing you can trust, rain or shine. Hey, Gator baseball fans, here's a win you can taste. When the Florida Gators take home a victory at Condren Family Ballpark, you win too at Miapa Latin Cafe. The day after every home win, swing by and score a free Cuban coffee, hot or iced, your choice. Just bring your game ticket to any Miapa location and claim your reward within 24 hours of the win. It's that simple. Gators win, you win. Only at Miapa Latin Cafe, serving Gator fans for over 20 years. Play ball!
The best conversations happen with Los Linderos tequila, like this recent conversation between 2 Gator legends.
Coach, it always impressed me how you beat Florida State to win the 1996 national championship.
And I was really impressed with your 06, 08, and 09 Gator teams.
And the way you coached Danny to the Heisman Trophy.
A lot like what you did with Tim Tebow.
To the Swamp and the Gators, with the best beverage served at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. 100% agave, Los Linderos tequila. Aged in bourbon barrels for a smoother taste.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party.
I just got another NBA offer from Hard Rock Bet.
A Hard Rock Bet promo at the Hard Rock Bet Party? That is so meta.
That's not meta. That's Meta World Peace. Meta. Tell them about Hard Rock Bet.
Hard Rock Bet has it all. Live odds for every NBA game, every player prop, same game parlays, you name it. It's the only place I play these days.
Okay, now that is meta.
Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us.
Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
WRUF, where Gator Nation comes alive. 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
Sensei Asian Bistro now open in Celebration Point next to Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, bringing bold Japanese French fusion flavors you won't find any place else in Gainesville. The premier date night spot has arrived, and make sure to go see and taste the difference at Sensei Asian Bistro. Welcome back to Sports Scene. Florida, Oklahoma in baseball. Their play-by-play voice, Toby Rowland, now joins us live here on Sports Scene on the Titan MRI Imaging phone line. Toby, welcome, and appreciate you being here. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, my pleasure. Looking forward to the weekend.
Okay, a lot of Gator fans listening here. Toby, tell us about your baseball team.
Well, it's a team that I would say has been pretty consistent all year long. They have been a strong defensive team, deep pitching, although the rotation on the weekend has been a bit erratic. And then I would say the weakness of the squad so far has been the explosiveness on offense. They don't have a ton of it, but they've been a pretty consistent team. If you look at them from start to finish, beginning of the year, they opened with 3 strong wins in Arlington, Texas. Into conference play, 4-3 in their 7 series so far. Same conference record as the Gators coming into this weekend at 11-10. Right there on the cusp of potentially being a host, probably on the outside of that hosting bubble right now, but securely in the field. But it's not a team that when you look at them statistically, either at the plate or on the mound, is necessarily going to wow you. But they're strong in the pitching depth and just a solid all-around baseball team, I would say.
Made a change in the pitcher tonight, Toby. What was behind that?
Well, I think a couple of things. One is they've had a horrible time on game ones of conference series, especially out of the gates. They've played 7 conference series so far. They've given up 13 runs in the first inning of game ones. And that really hasn't mattered who the starting pitcher's been. It was Cam Johnson early on. It's L.J. Mercurius the last few weeks. But whoever has got the game one start has had a really difficult time. So I think this is maybe a little bit of an attempt just to shake things up a little bit. I would expect Caden Leon, who's getting the start tonight, has been a short relief guy. He has started one other game this year, and that was the finale at Vanderbilt when they had their Sunday starter was injured. He went 3 good innings in that start. But I think that's probably about what they're expecting out of him tonight, a starter, an opener, if you will, and then piece it together after that. L.J. Mercurius is healthy, and you will see him this weekend out of the bullpen. I don't know, maybe you'll see him in the 2nd or 3rd inning today, and just somebody else to get things going. But I think that's probably what this is an attempt to, just a better effort in game one.
A lot of people have been curious, Toby, because, again, this is our first trip here to play you all in the SEC about, the ballpark, how it plays, fan attendance, all of that. So, give us a thumbnail of that as a Gator fan prepares to see this series.
Yeah, I think you'll see good crowds this weekend. This isn't the biggest ballpark in the SEC. It'll be about 4,000 inside the venue. And then there is a berm, an outfield berm all the way around from left field foul pole to right field foul pole that is free to the public. And you'll see another several hundred, maybe 1,000 or more people out there on the berms this weekend with their tents and lawn chairs. It's similar to the Adirondack chairs in Gainesville in the outfield. They'll bring coolers. Fraternities and sororities will come throw a big party out there. And so the outfield is kind of the fun area. But the crowds have grown since that 2022 run to the National Championship Series where they lost to Ole Miss. Skip Johnson has really kind of lit a fire under the fan base. It is good for OU baseball that OU softball is out of town this weekend, and so there's no split allegiance there because obviously they draw very well like they do at Florida. But, yeah, it's a park that needs renovating, and that is the plan after this season. They are going to put several millions, tens of millions of dollars of renovation into it to try to get caught up with all of the other fantastic baseball parks, including Condren Family Stadium in Gainesville. So you'll notice, if you haven't seen it already, that it is an older ballpark, still very nice, but an older ballpark and smaller than most of them in the SEC.
A lot of times fans, and I'm guilty of this, you look at how a team pitches, look how a team hits, but, defense is sometimes overlooked. That's been a problem for Florida this year. When you look at this Oklahoma team defensively, what do you see?
I think it's the best defensive team they've had in several years, especially on the infield. I would put Oklahoma's middle infield, Kyle Branch at second, Jackson Willis at short, up against any middle infield in America. They've been fantastic. I think if you had to circle one strength of this team, it is defense. They've turned 22 double plays in conference play. That's far and away the most in the league. The error numbers and the fielding percentage are where you'd want them to be, but they just tend to not give runs away. And they need to, with the style, with the offense where it is, the run prevention element needs to be solid. And it has. Now, as sure as I say this, they're going to have several errors this weekend. I hope that's not the case. But so far this season, they have been great. I did want to circle back. You asked me about how the ballpark plays.
Yeah.
The dimensions are big compared to most other SEC ballparks. That's one thing we've noticed since we've been in the league, is that they have a bunch of tiny ballparks in the SEC. But don't let the dimensions fool you, because most days you get a south wind here in Oklahoma and it blows out to center field and left field and the ball really carries. In the Big 12, this ballpark was known as one of the smaller playing fields in the league. I've noticed as we moved to the SEC, when broadcasters come through opposing coaches, they talk about how big OU's ballpark is, which is a little comical because it's been the opposite of that for years around here. But most days, the wind blows out, and it plays very small.
I'm going to end with this, and it may sound like a kind of a silly question, but I hope it isn't. Sometimes being around as long as I have, I'm still wrapping my arms around the fact that Oklahoma and Texas are in the SEC. Is the fan base used to this now? Being part of the SEC, being in the SEC, Toby, have they put their arms around that, being part of this, part of our league?
I would say that they're excited about it. They love being in what is no doubt the best conference in America and has been for a long time. It is still odd. They love it and they want to be here, but it is still very strange. We have gone from being the central hub of a conference for almost 100 years, whether the Big 6 or 7 or 8 or 12. Oklahoma was smack dab in the middle of that conference, and they were the team to beat. Far more, and I'm talking across the board, far more than Texas. Texas was kind of a running joke in the Big 12 about how much money they had and how they never won anything. And now they go into a league where they are on the outskirts geographically. In the Big 12, we could drive to any other school, almost every other school, in about 4 to 5 hours. We can get to one school in the SEC in that amount of time, and that's Arkansas. And for some reason, the commissioner doesn't want us to play Arkansas. We don't play them in hardly anything. We haven't so far. So it takes our fans. It's hard for travel for our fans to get to road events, even like the conference tournament and everything. And so there's a big adjustment period there. We very much have been made to feel like the outsiders and the new guys by opposing fan bases and even the commissioner's office. And that's just something that's going to take time. We are the new guys, and so the SEC has a proud, long tradition. It's exciting to be a part of it, but at the same time, there's going to be a transition period that feels very odd, and we're in the middle of that right now.
Let me end with this. Given what all you've told us and the audience listening, fill in the blank here, Toby. Oklahoma wins this series if?
Obviously Florida's strength is their starting pitching. It is talent-wise probably the best in America. And Oklahoma at times has a hard time scoring runs. They have scored 4 or fewer runs in 13 of their 21 conference games so far. It's hard to win SEC games like that unless you get excellent pitching. So somehow in some way they have to figure out a way to get after the Florida starters. And I'm not talking about put up double-digit runs and chase them, but there's enough confidence in Oklahoma's pitching and defense that if the offense could somehow give them a little something at home this weekend, then I think they have a good chance of potentially taking 2 out of 3. But that's easier said than done against Aiden King and Liam Peterson and Sandefur for sure. So this is going to be, I think, 2 teams that are living in the same neck of the RPI, same neighborhood of whether they're going to be a 1 seed or a 2 seed, and they have the exact same conference record. So everything lines up for this to be a very tightly played, close, entertaining series this weekend, I think.
Great stuff, Toby. Appreciate you. Looking forward to seeing you at the ballpark tonight. Thank you for making time today.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
You got it, Toby. Toby Rowland, play-by-play voice of the Oklahoma Sooners, joining us here. I want to tell you about our friends at Gala Bank, Gainesville's only local bank. They're locally owned and operated. 350 years of combined experience and service, helping neighbors and not customers. No appointments necessary, no sign-in sheets, no call centers, and if you want to cash a check, you can cash a check with them at no extra charge. Find them at 7515 West University Avenue, Gala Bank, off of Tower Road, member FDIC. Graham and I will come back to wrap it with one more segment today as Sports Scene comes to you live from Norman, Oklahoma, as you listen with our second hour sponsored by our friends at Domino's Pizza. You're listening on WRUF.
He's got the 1966 Heisman Trophy, the 1996 National Championship Trophy, and 7 SEC trophies. Now he's got a new trophy, a can of beer. Steve Spurrier was the head ball coach. Now you can call him the head beer coach. Head Beer Coach 1966 Lager is available in 16-ounce cans at Gator games and stores all across Gainesville. You can also get it in the can or on draft at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Refreshing in all kinds of weather, Head Beer Coach 1966 Lager, a legend in a can.
Attention local and regional CDL-A drivers in the North Florida area. Pritchett Trucking is currently looking for local and regional drivers. Are you looking for a driver-friendly environment? Pritchett Trucking offers more home time, great pay, and great benefits, including health insurance and paid time off. And they also offer a quarterly performance and safety program, plus a sign-on bonus. Pritchett Trucking's regional drivers are home weekends and local drivers are home daily. If you're at least 23 years old and want a rewarding career with great pay, don't let the opportunity pass you by. Apply online at PritchettTrucking.com.
Are you ready to raise your game when it comes to your Gators gear? Head over to Alma Mater in Gainesville. You'll find just what you need to rep your team in style. From one-of-a-kind Gator tees and hats to NIL gear, they've got the perfect Gator swag for every fan in all kinds of weather. Whether it's game day or any day, you'll be winning with officially licensed apparel found nowhere else. Locally owned, locally produced. Alma Mater, in-store at the corner of 34th and University or online at almamaterdesign.com.
Domino's carryout deal means you can carry out one-topping pizzas for $7.99 each when you order online or by phone. Just in case there's any confusion, we've even set up a helpful website to confirm if today is a day you can carry out one-topping pizzas for $7.99 each. Just go to howaboutoday.com to find out if Domino's carryout deal is valid today. Spoiler alert, it is. Carryout only. Ask for this offer. Availability and charges may vary. Size availability varies by crust type. Excludes XL and specialty. Your local store may charge extra for some toppings and sauces.
We all know the most exciting thing that can happen during a baseball game is a grand slam. Leave it to Davis Gainesville Chevrolet GMC and the Florida Gators to make it even more exciting. This year, at any SEC home game here in Gainesville, if the baseball or softball team hits a grand slam in the 4th inning, someone will win a 2-year lease on a brand new 2026 Chevy Trax. It's happened before. Will you be the next to win? Davis Gainesville Chevrolet and the Florida Gators. Now that's a hit.
This summer, bring every game home. Baseball, soccer, golf, like never before. With a stunning new home theater system from Electronics World. Gainesville's preferred choice for home theater, surveillance, and smart home solutions. Delivering the best products, the best service, and the best price. Don't just watch the game, live it. At Electronics World. Gainesville's preferred choice for home theater, home surveillance, and smart home installation and service. Visit electronicsworld.net for more. That's electronicsworld.net.
Hey Gainesville, tired of big banks that don't know your name? Meet Gala Bank. Locally owned, locally operated. With over 350 years of combined experience, we're here to help our neighbors, not just customers. No call centers, no appointments necessary, no sign-in sheets, and anyone can cash a check on us. No extra charge. Local bank, local people. Gala Bank. Find us at 7515 West University Avenue off Tower Road. Gala Bank. Member FDIC.
Foodies, this is not a drill.
Tyler, you there?
Sensei Asian Bistro is now open in Celebration Point, right next to Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, and it's bringing bold Japanese French fusion flavors you won't find anywhere else. We're talking smoked New York strip, rich matcha curry, melt-in-your-mouth Chilean sea bass, and the fan-favorite Chunggang chili chicken. Feeling adventurous? Dive into fresh crudo oysters or treat yourself to A5 Wagyu tataki. Add in handcrafted cocktails, and you've got your next night out covered. Sensei Asian Bistro. Come hungry, leave impressed.
When you're ready to feel the wind in your hair or trade traffic for trailheads, then you're ready for real summer fun, and Radiant Credit Union is ready to get you there. ATVs, UTVs. If it kicks up dirt and makes your weekend better, Radiant has special loan rates right now with flexible terms and fast approvals. The only thing you'll be waiting on is your friends to catch up. Start your adventure today at radiantcu.org. Loans subject to credit approval. Radiant is federally insured by NCUA.
From the UF Weather Center, here is your WRUF weather update.
Hot and humid today, temperatures in the upper 80s, feels like temperatures in the low to mid 90s. There's a chance for a few passing evening showers, otherwise partly cloudy, humid and warm overnight, lows in the upper 60s. Tomorrow, a storm system arrives, giving us much needed rainfall. Pockets of heavy rain and strong thunderstorms will be possible, especially during the afternoon into the evening. From the WUFT Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Megan Borowski.
Hey, it's Jeff Cardozo. Your only home for Gator baseball is WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2. Your home for Gator sports.
All right, welcome back. Graham and I wrapping it up today. Don't forget, check out our daily clip of the day on WRUF Facebook and YouTube at WRUF Home of the Gators, brought to you by our friends at Fairlife Milk. Do we still have Bernard on hold? If we do, let's go to him. Bernard?
Bernard, Steve. Hey, Steve, the Mets do this every year, and eventually Lindo and Soto gonna get hot, and the Mets gonna make a run for a wild card, Steve. So I wouldn't worry if I were you. I expected the Knicks to beat the Hawks, but I didn't expect to turn the television on. Third quarter it was 112 New York and 57 Atlanta, but it was good to see the Knicks royalty in the stand, Patrick Ewing, John Stock, Allen Houston, and Walt Clyde Frazier. Steve, I know you've been talking about graduation. You retired. I'm just curious. You go through the school of journalism. Do they go through the same program, or they branch off and some go into, like, if you want to, it used to be, I guess, you write for a newspaper, become a columnist, broadcast television, and you got people in front of the camera, behind the camera. How does that, without getting too far in the weeds, how does that work in the school of journalism?
The short answer to that is a student picks, kind of what they really want to do. There are courses you have to take in the college that are required, but then depending on what a student wants to do, they can take an elective. So if they want to be on the air, want to be behind a camera, they can volunteer to run a camera. But a lot of it's either volunteer or course driven about what they can do.
Okay, so let me ask you, with the changes, do you still do the old-fashioned reporting if someone wants to be like it used to be you would be a reporter, then you may get promoted up to, you have a column in a newspaper? Is that still offered there, or is that a thing of the past now?
It's a thing of the past. I mean, we certainly, kids can go and work for the Alligator and write that way. I mean, Graham can probably speak to this more than I can. But you can also work for a place like Graham works. I'll let him speak to that. And you can volunteer to do that. You can volunteer to intern. We have people who write on our website and write stories. We have people that are beat people that cover teams and cover the team, travel with the team sometimes. So there's a lot of opportunity. I got to get to James, Bernard. Appreciate your call. Right, thank you. Yep. Let me get to James. Yep. James, welcome to the show.
Hey, Steve. Hey, Steve. Hey, that was a good interview with the Oklahoma play-by-play. Interesting insight there. He said that the berm is open to the public for free, and they could BYOB and BYO tent and have a good time out there. But he also said they're looking at $12 million of renovation. It'll be interesting if they still allow that after the renovations.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you want to put fannies in the seats that, where money can be generated from that. But, you also don't want to not put a gift horse and take it away. So
right.
Maybe a balance of the two.
So here's my idea, especially for softball. My understanding is most of the tickets are sold on a season ticket basis, and the games are pretty much sold out, other than a few the tickets that show up here and there. And so those people have made the commitment, obviously, but they're not showing up. They're not showing up on every game. I mean, you see, they're a top 10 team. You turn on ESPN, in the fourth inning, sometimes the stadium's half full on a Thursday or Friday night. So here's my idea. Going into next year, when you renew your season tickets, you have to check in 24 hours in advance that you're going to use that ticket, just like a flight, just like an airline flight. And if you don't, and you get prompted, you'll get a text, you'll get an email, and you have to check in and confirm that you want that ticket for tomorrow. If you don't, then that ticket could be resold to a walk-up crowd with no Ticketmaster fees. What do you think about that?
Graham, go ahead. I'll let you go first.
Yeah, I think it's pretty novel. I think you got to try something. That's really how student tickets work. Like, you sign up online for a student ticket, but if you don't show up, you lose your privilege, I think, for the next 3 games to be able to go back to a game. And then if you claim another student ticket and don't show up, I think you lose them for the rest of the season. I could be wrong here. So there has to be there's already incentive to go if you're a student. You can go for free. But there has to be some potential consequence if you don't show up. I don't think you can do that for season ticket holders because you could rub people the wrong way a little bit. But I would like to see a situation where you could show up for free after the 3rd inning. I know that's how it used to work a couple of years ago. I think it worked like that at McKeithen. I think that there's always people who want to get in and don't want to pay anything, but they could only be a plus for you if no one shows up in those seats. I also think that you should allow people to move down if seats are empty after the 3rd inning. Get them as close as possible. Get them behind the opposing team's dugout. Let them impact the game. I think there's some improvements to be made. I just don't know if you can run the risk of taking away a season ticket holder's seat and kind of rubbing them the wrong way when you need them year over year to make that commitment.
Sure, but they would know ahead of time. They would know ahead of time, and they have 24 hours. I mean, if you buy an airline flight and you don't show up, they take the standby. I mean,
all right.
I think
maybe they're listening to James. They'll take your idea.
It'd be a cool try. James. It's worth a shot. Hopefully someone's listening.
All right, James. Thank you for your call. Appreciate it. That's going to about do it for Sports Scene today. Graham, give yourself a plug. By the way, thanks for hosting yesterday and being here today. Give yourself a plug.
It's always my pleasure. You did a fantastic job having 3 guests here today from Norman. Made it work while your bed was being made in the back. It was awesome to see.
You noticed that, did you? Yeah.
True pro. I would have flinched. I would have turned my back. You didn't miss a beat. Absolutely, my friend. And I know you're not going to miss a beat tonight out there in Norman. Enjoy the experience. Thank everyone for joining us today here from the Gator Trim Light Studios. Everyone who called in, listened to the program. It's been a fantastic week. Any chance I have to be here and host with you, my friend, it is an absolute pleasure.
Thank you. Tyler, thank you for producing. Enjoy baseball over the weekend, all the other Gator sports as well. See you Monday on Sports Scene.
The NBA playoffs play here. WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and anywhere in the world on the WRUF mobile app.
Gator Nation, did you know the UF bookstore, located right inside the University of Florida's Rights Union, is more than just textbooks? That's right. Gear up with officially licensed Gator merchandise from top brands like Nike, Peter Lamar, Lululemon, Columbia, Tommy Bahama, Apple, and more. From game day to every day, we've got the styles Gators love. Stop by the Florida Bookstore at Rights Union. The Florida Bookstore, where Gators shop.
Go Gators! It's lunchtime and nobody does lunch like Pomodoro Cafe.